Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and industry partners, it is my honour to welcome you to the UNSW Employability Summit for 2024. To commence our proceedings, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to Uncle Alan Murray from the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council. With deep roots in the community, we are privileged to have Uncle Alan here with us today to provide a traditional welcome to country, honouring the land and its people. Thank you, Uncle Alan, for that moving and informative welcome to country. Today marks a real exciting opportunity in our ongoing journey to bridge the gap between academia and industry, to nurture the talents and aspirations of our UNSW students, and importantly, to forge deeper connections with our industry partners. Employability is a term that resonates deeply in the ever-evolving world of work. It embodies not merely the acquisition of skills, but the cultivation of a mindset, a readiness to adapt and thrive in a dynamic world. At UNSW, employability is at the heart of our mission. We strive not only to equip our students with knowledge, but also to empower them to realise their unique potential. Our journey is by no means solitary, but enriched by the invaluable partnerships that we forge with industry leaders like yourselves. We deeply value all of our partners who are here in the room today, and of course the opportunities that you provide to our students each and every day. Together, we actively contribute to their professional development and empower them to thrive in their future careers. Today's summit acts as a pivotal platform to deepen our partnerships, fostering ongoing collaborations and connections. From internships and work-integrated learning placements to faculty-specific projects and networking events, there are, quite frankly, endless opportunities for industry partners to engage with UNSWs and, most importantly, interact with our really talented students. So as we look ahead to the agenda for today, I'm hoping you had an opportunity earlier this morning to begin exploring the showcase of UNSW faculties and divisions that are out and set up in the main networking area. We will also shortly have the privilege of hearing from Jackie Heath, Director and Head of Quantitative Research at Pollinate. Since 2020, Pollinate has been instrumental in helping us at UNSW Employability understand student attitudes and behaviours towards employability, which has really helped shape our initiatives through meticulous research and analysis. You will also hear from faculty representatives through a series of lightning talks where they'll highlight key engagement opportunities ahead for the year. And then we'll close with some networking over morning tea, where you'll have the opportunity to meet a select group of our award-winning UNSW students. So in closing, I invite you to immerse yourselves in the wealth of knowledge and possibilities that await us today. Let us seize this moment to collaborate, to learn, and to inspire one another towards a future where every student realises their full potential. I'll now hand over to Jackie Heath. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. Great introduction and really pleased to be here in this beautiful space this morning. All right, so as Vanessa mentioned, we've partnered with UNSW Employability for the last few years, really to provide research services that look at student attitudes, their needs, and their behaviours with regards to employability. The research has covered a wide range of different audiences. We've spoken to current and prospective students, domestic and international students, undergrads and postgrads. So today I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of some of the data that we collected from over 800 UNSW students. We've got a good mix of domestic and international students, and the data was collected in 2021 and 2022. So the students were invited to complete these surveys via an email from UNSW and via society events, and we had a really good response rate, and we've got a really nice big sample to look at. In terms of some of the key profile attributes, we've got a really good spread of age. And in terms of year of study, importantly, we haven't just spoken to students who are coming to the end of their studies, for whom we may expect employability would be more top of mind. We've got a really good mix of first years, second years, third and fourth years. And we've got a representative profile of the student body by faculty. All right, so we asked students, well, when you finish your studies, what sectors are you considering for employment? And we found that almost all do have specific employment sectors in mind, with tech the most popular. But what I really like about this chart is that down at the bottom, we see only 2% that didn't know. So for 98% of students, they've got an idea of what sector they want to work in once they graduate. And we can see that technology, including engineering, is up there at the top, followed by commerce and government. It's quite interesting, though, when we look at that information by current faculty of study. And we can see that while students clearly have a chosen discipline, they're thinking more broadly, they're thinking outside their faculty. So, for example, the blue bars at the top, we're looking at students who are currently in engineering. And yes, we can see that most of those students expect to work in engineering and technology, but we've also got 20% who are thinking of government and 20% who are thinking of entrepreneurialism. Similarly, if we skip down to the pink bars, so there are arts, design and architecture students, about half of them are thinking that they'll go into the creative industries. But we've got about a third thinking government and about a quarter thinking education. So this, to me, really highlights that students are interested in transferable skills. They're thinking broadly. They're considering a range of sectors for employment. And for businesses, it shows that grads can bring a range of skills and interests, not just purely in the specific field in which they've done their studying. Two outliers to this worth a mention are medicine and health and law and justice. They're not shown on this chart because almost all of those students are considering employment in their very specific chosen discipline. This information on this page is just looking at our international students, and we asked where in the world they would like to work once they graduate. And we can see that 9 in 10 of them expect to work in Australia, at least for some time. And we know that Australia needs to address skills gaps, and international graduates are potentially a worthwhile investment. And for international companies, graduates could do a program here in Australia and then transfer to an overseas office. Let's look now at some student attitudes towards employability. So first up, we see that employability is a top priority for students. 92% agree that a successful career requires more than academic knowledge. We know that they're looking for tangible outcomes. There's certainly been a lot of information in the media recently about students, trading off the cost of further education versus what they actually get from it. We also see that students value exploring career options that align with their personal values. So 93% agree that it's important to them that their career after university fits with their personal values and goals. And 89% agree that it's important to explore different career options while they're studying. So this confirms that value-based decision-making is important, and it's a key driver in determining where students go and what they do. So what are some of the benefits that students think employability programs and services offer them? Well, first of all, they really recognise that this is a valuable use of their time. It's a valuable opportunity for them to engage in employability programs and services. So 3/4 agree that such engagement with programs would supplement the knowledge and skills they gain at university with that really important real-world experience. 2/3 agree that it would help them make better career choices. And only 29% said that they're more focused on getting academic knowledge than job-ready skills. And what we see is that the benefits of investing their time in these programs outweigh the actual time investment required when they're busy doing everything else in their lives. Only 20% said they didn't think university employability programs would make a significant difference to their job prospects after university. And only 18% said they don't want to invest the extra time required to participate in university employability programs. So the key takeaway from this is that students do recognise the value and the richness that these employability programs provide, but also that they're engaging in these opportunities early on in their careers. And if businesses want to engage with top talent, they need to engage with them early. We found that most students have participated in an employability program, so 76%, but strikingly 96% intend to do so in the future. So almost all of them looking to take advantage of the programs and services that the UNSW offers. So in our surveys, we did some concept testing and we introduced students to 7 UNSW employability programs, ranging from industry products and placements, networking events, leadership programs, study abroad programs. We gave them a little bit of information about each one and measured their interest and how likely they would be to participate in such a program. And we found that students are most receptive to programs that connect them to industry. So 63% said they would be likely to participate in industry projects or placements. 52% said they would be likely to participate in networking events, and almost half in employability seminars. We also included a framework in our analysis that helps us understand the motivations that lie behind this interest and engagement in employability. And we used something called the Graduate Capital Framework to understand those student motivations. And it basically splits motivations into a number of different pillars. So we've got human, social, cultural, psychological, and identity. And statements within the survey align to each of those pillars within the model. And if we just have a look at the motivations underlying those 2 main areas of interest, so industry projects and placements, so the primary motivation for participating in those is around human capital. And by that we mean that students will gain job-ready skills and capabilities, and that they will get experience in their chosen career before I finish university. That's their number 1 motivation for engaging in industry projects and placements. The secondary motivation is around identity capital. And by that we mean it'll help me decide about the type of job I want, and it'll help me learn about what prospective employers want. And just to finish, in terms of networking events, we see social capital coming through here. And that's around developing my ability to learn about building and sustaining peer relationships and providing opportunities to network with people who can help my career development. So I hope that's given you a nice snapshot of what students are thinking and feeling and needing. And I'll now hand over. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Hi everyone, I'm Daria Keys. I'm the Partner Engagement Manager at UNSW Employability within the Partner Engagement team. I'm just here to quickly introduce our team and as the first point of contact. So if you haven't met any of us, please make sure you come and say hi to us today. So in terms of areas that we look after is, for me, it's science, medicine and health, and equity, diversity and inclusion. Tom Richards, who's also manager of partner engagement, looks after art, design and architecture, engineering and international projects. And we also have Kylie Holmes, who's a manager of partner engagement, who's looking after events and programs in our team. So we are your first point of contact across any university. We can connect you to any department, any area. So please come have a chat with us today if you haven't met us already. In terms of where we sit within the employability team. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about our strategy. So, a bit too far. The first thing that we get asked is, are you doing a career expo? We usually have previously done. We have decided to step away from big engagement events. And you saw some of the research behind that students are really interested in project work and programs. So that's what we're focusing on this year. We're still supporting career expos. We're going to be at the big meet next week. If any of you are going to be there, hand up. Yeah, excellent, a few. And of course, we've got our faculty-specific events and student society events that we support as well. But for our team, we're really focusing on meaningful engagement with learning outcomes. So all the programs and projects that we're doing, we're really focusing on learning outcomes, employability learning outcomes for our students. And one of our key things in terms of our strategy is the aligned objectives. So really focusing on societal impact, environmental impact, and equity, diversity, and inclusion. So that's the focus of our team. You know who we are, you know what we do, and now we're going to have a quick-fire interview with one of our partners who's completed an industry project with us. And Tom will talk a little bit more about industry project and what it may involve for you.
Thanks so much, Daria. Just quickly to run through with you about our Practice of Work course and Global Practice of Work course. It's essentially, it falls under the banner of Work Integrated Learning. Students undertake a project with a partner. It can be from the corporate, government, not-for-profit sector. It involves a 10-week project across a standard university term, co-designed project briefs in collaboration with the partner, interdisciplinary teams of 3 to 4 students from across 5 faculties at the university, so really broad range of students, and between 15 and 25 per cohort. Some of the benefits for you as partners with these projects is upskilling your teams on a live project, spotlighting talent from UNSW, and also gaining insights and solutions from Gen Z and from students. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce one of our partners who's collaborated with our students on 2 projects, David Provost, Client Engineering Leader at IBM. Hi, David. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Tom.
David, tell us a bit more about the brief that you posed to our students.
Yeah, definitely. So the first brief we had in the previous year was around, how do we build our brand on campus? How do people know about what IBM does these days? A long company, a lot of history. And so it was really around our recruitment strategy. And so that was quite good because the students are multidisciplinary, so they could all engage. And the most recent one was more topical around generative AI. So we're looking at, the question was, how can generative AI impact citizen services? What's the value and what's the feasibility of that? And that was a wicked problem, and some really cool ideas came out of it.
Awesome. What were some unexpected outcomes or benefits from the last project for IBM that emerged through UNSW students being involved with your team?
Yeah, definitely. So we're looking at this, cutting edge problem around generative AI. How can it impact citizens? And I suppose what I was expecting was the students would, use human-centered design, really think about the problem space, all the possibilities, what the value could be. But I was really impressed by the students. They went that next step and they looked at what the possible solutions could be. They wireframed them. They had demonstrations and really quite strong business cases around real solutions. And so some of them were around disability employment services. How can we transform that, make it better for people? And some were around health. Some were around transport. So some really important topics and solutions were created.
Great. And just a pretty loaded question, but what's brought you back twice to this course and to work integrated learning projects?
Yeah, definitely. So I think personally, I just love, mentoring our future leaders. I think that's so rewarding, and I learn a lot from them through the process. But for our organisation, it, exposes the students to what we do on a day-to-day, so they get to understand our company and how we work with clients and kind of what we do. But really, we get to see the students in action. So it's so much better than a traditional interview, look at a CV. We get to see, how they present, how do they do their research. And we have hired a couple as interns, and we just offered another person as an internship as well. So it kind of provides us a pipeline of interns and graduates, which is amazing.
So good to hear. And just finally, what would you say to someone here today that's considering engaging with UNSW students on a project challenge?
Yeah, I'd say take advantage of the opportunity. Everything's positive. You get these amazing students working on some really, gnarly problems. You get to build some great networks, and you see them grow. So I think seize the opportunity. Would recommend it.
Awesome. Thanks, David. And thanks again for your ongoing partnership with us. Just a quick note too, Daria, David and I will be around for the rest of the morning. So please feel free to come up to us and ask us any questions, particularly about partner projects, but about everything across employability. We're happy to chat with you. Thank you. Just before I move off this stage, I'm just here to introduce our next stage of the presentations, which is our lightning talks from faculties. From 6 faculties, and they each have 3 minutes only. And we have a timekeeper up the front who's going to indicate when they're near the end. So it will be fast-paced, but you'll get to hear really what are the strategic focuses in each faculty. They're going to be interviewing some of their students, which is exciting. So we really hope you enjoy hearing from our 6 faculties. Over to our first faculty, Science.
Hi everyone, I'm Chelsea. I'm the Industry Engagement Officer for the Science Faculty Work Integrated Learning Program. We'll just press next. We've got a little intro, and then one more. So within the Science Faculty, doesn't have it. That's okay. Within the Faculty of Science, we have a number of different science schools. So we've got aviation, biotechnology, and in biomolecular science, biological, earth and environmental science. Then we have chemistry, material science, physics, psychology and biomedical science, and maths and stats in there as well. So if you're interested in collaborating with us and connecting with our science students who are in 2nd and 3rd year and also have a weighted average mark of above 65, then we'd love to have a chat with you today and see ways we can connect. And to give you a little bit of insight about what a science school placement might look like, I'd love to introduce Imogen, who recently completed a placement at New South Wales Health.
Thank you, Chelsea. So I want to start by asking you a question. How do you get from this to this? I, for one, had no idea when I walked into the histology lab at St George Hospital 16 months ago. Now, as a trainee hospital scientist and having completed a will placement with UNSW Science, I help make hundreds of these slides a day, contributing to the more than 70% of medical diagnoses that require a pathology test. But what do I actually do in a histology lab? To explain, let me tell you a story experienced by 1 in 10 Australian women. It starts with a woman finding a lump in her breast and a subsequent biopsy to determine if it is cancerous or not. This biopsy is sent to the hospital's pathology department, and it is here my job as a scientist begins. The biopsy is given a lab number and transferred from its jar into a cassette. This cassette is then placed into an overnight tissue processor to transform the tissue from soft and fresh to hardened and dehydrated so that it can withstand further processing. The next morning, the biopsy is taken out of the cassette and embedded into a wax block, which is then cut into 4 micrometer thick sections, very thin. These sections are picked up onto slides and stained with hematoxylin and eosin so that the cellular structures can be observed by a pathologist under a microscope. The pathologist writes a report diagnosing our patient with a benign breast lump. She sighs with relief, but is still booked in for a lumpectomy. During this procedure, a breast surgeon removes the lump from her breast and again sends it to the hospital's histology department. This breast is too big to fit into a cassette hole, so it is cut into multiple pieces by a registrar before being processed and made into slides. This time, the pathologist is looking for something very different. The benign breast lump the benign tumour is there. but are the surgical margins around it clear? Yes, they are, meaning all the abnormal tissue has been removed and our patient is cancer-free. Although working in a diagnostics laboratory in a small corner of a hospital can sometimes feel very removed from the clinical side of medicine, I'm very proud of the fact that I can contribute to improved cancer outcomes, and I'm excited to continue my career in this field. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I would like to take the time today to basically give you some information on the Faculty of Art, Design and Architecture and some of the engagement opportunities that we would hope to inform you of today. Okay, so the Faculty of Art, Design and Architecture is actually one of the largest faculties in UNSW. We are comprised of 6 schools: Arts and Media, Built Environment, Art and Design, Humanities and Languages, Social Sciences, and Education. These are some of the ways in which we can engage with the faculty. Okay, so we have research opportunities, we have short courses opportunities, but most importantly, what we really want to get across today is our work integrated learning opportunities. We have a very, very wide range and diverse opportunities in our faculty. As you can see, they go from art and design straight through to landscape. We have urban planners, we have graphic designers. Almost everything that you could imagine, I would say, consider the Faculty of Art, Design and Architecture first, because if you have an engagement opportunity in mind, it most likely falls within our faculty somewhere. I'm just going to take 1 minute to show a quick video of one of our partner organizations who takes our architecture students, and this is PTW, and this is Diane.
Really, architecture is teamwork. I mean, everything is done in a team, at least in a large practice like ours, all the projects, even if they're small projects, we never have just one person working on a project. There's always at least 2 or 3. So that ability to work in the team, to actually know what your role is, there's a difference between, I think, a fixed hierarchy and a hierarchy of knowledge or experience, and to know that how that sits within a particular task. For some tasks, you know, it might be a social media post, it could be an organisational post. The student may have far better skills than the more senior person. So it's knowing when to step in and when to step back. And of course, the more senior students bring in high technical skills, especially with digital technologies and so on.
Yes, so there should be one more slide that shall appear hopefully any second now. But what Diane has shared there is that it's an architecture company, and we engaged initially with architecture students and architecture placements. But as our faculty's grown, we now work with PTW. We have art and media students go there for their social media management. We have graphic design students who go there, as Diane said, to support in other areas that weren't initially the space that we initially engaged in. So I have some partner testimonials just in the background, but I'd just like to take this opportunity to say, please come and speak with us after, and yeah, see how we can engage further. Thank you.
So just to warn you, the Irish are taking over the world. Yeah, there's a lot of us at UNSW. Okay, so I'm Siobhan Ryan from UNSW. I'm the Director of Internships. We call it a fancy word, experiential learning. This is Ruth, and I'm going to be interviewing Ruth on her internship experience. But before I do, let me just say, why employ our students? Yes, we're ranked. Yes, we're fantastic. That's all great. But I will just tell you, for the last 5 years or more, UNSW are focused on the employability skills beyond wham. We very much take it seriously, so much so that we're the only law school in Australia who has taken money from our operational budget to employ a careers service. We have a lawyer on staff just does career counselling with our students. And also we have a careers manager who is about engaging, students through panel events, information sessions on careers, and creating partner engagement. And to that success, we have our own jobs board, separate to the UNSW Employability Service, because so many employers want to advertise exclusively to our students' opportunities. So please engage. Brooke Johnson, our careers manager, is here. Please go up and engage with her afterwards. So, work integrated learning. Look, yes, we offer an elective course in law and justice where they can undertake going out 1 day a week to learn. And as the director of that program, I can tell you if a student goes out and works 1 day a week in whatever industry and then comes back and says, I hate it, I realize after 5 years studying law, I don't like clients, that's great. Policy is for you. If it's a success, it's not a success, it's a great learning experience. And we don't want you to lose the momentum of your first graduate role in a job or an industry that doesn't suit you. So I'm going to go to Ruth now, who did an internship course, and ask her quite honestly, and you can be honest, how was the experience, and has it informed your future career?
Yeah, great. So my work integrated learning was at the Refugee Advice and Casework Service at the end of last year. For me, it was really wonderful. I really enjoyed it. I got to do a lot of refugee research, working with clients who are quite vulnerable. And that was really confirmation for me that that's the kind of space that I want to go into. But it was really good to have the opportunity to test that and make sure that that was what I was interested in.
Okay, great. So as long as actually, as well as, developing your legal skills.
Yes.
What would you say were the other surrounding employability skills that you developed?
Yeah. So as I was saying, working with vulnerable clients was a massive one. So developing those interpersonal skills, those communication skills was massive. And another part of the course is that because it's only 10 days, you really hit the ground running. So you need to network quickly, get to know people quickly. And so those were great skills for me to build, getting to know people, getting to know grads who were just a few years ahead of me, seeing what they're doing in the workforce and what they're kind of pursuing was really great for me too.
Okay, so fantastic. And I'll just end by saying, now that I have some power, I make it mandatory for the interns to engage with our careers service and start to do some career planning. And we do focus on the employability broader than the grade, as we call it at UNSW, the WAM. Thank you.
I'm going to hide behind the lectern for this one. We are Karis and Eleanor from UNSW Business School, and we're going to tell you a little bit about what we do at the Career Accelerator. I've only been here 8 weeks, by the way. So just quickly, we have 8 schools in our business school, and these include our AGSM, which is our MBA school. This is a really quick breakdown of a visual of our student cohort demographics. It is broken down by male, female, gender split, international, domestic, but as you can see there, just really quickly, at any given time, we have around 10,000 undergrads, around 8,000 postgrads, and 1,500 approximately MBA students. So what we do, in a nutshell, what we do is connect industry to students, so you guys to our students. And how do we do that? We do this by creating kind of mutually beneficial partnerships between you and students and academics as well. And there's lots of ways that you can get involved. So we don't need to tell anyone in this room how important internships are. We have got an internship for credit course called our Industry Experience Program, and that's for undergrad and postgrad students. Students can source their own internship, or they can come to you directly, and all Sydney-based businesses are welcome, any size. Eleanor.
Thank you. That really was lightning.
Sorry.
I'll try and be just as quick. Industry projects, so you've heard about work integrated learning and industry projects through some of our colleagues in other faculties and through our central team. We actually have 4 courses at the business school that you can get involved with across UG, undergrad, postgrad and MBA. And industry projects absolutely give organisations the opportunity to really tap into those fresh perspectives and diversity of thought to solve complex problems. So always really recommend industry projects. And we've got industry projects for companies of all sizes, all locations and all industries. So the two projects listed on the slide is the Industry Consulting Project, which is really best suited to large organisations, Sydney-based, and really looking for aspiring student consultants to be able to partner with those organisations. The Future of Work project is delivered purely online, which is great because you can be a local, interstate or international business and tap into that one, and it's both for undergrad and postgrad students. Enterprise skills, anybody here in the startup community, you can work with students if you're Sydney-based, and then the Strategic Consulting Project. I've had a few conversations this morning about wanting to tap in to the MBA student cohort, and you can absolutely do that through a few different ways, but the Strategic Consulting Project under the projects banner is absolutely something to consider if you're looking for some more advanced talent. And we also take our students overseas. So that's been really great. The last couple of years, we've been back in country, listed some of the past and future locations that students will be able to enjoy, and our industry partners. We tap into alumni and organisations, large and small, that are looking to tap into the business school talent pool. And that one is supported by the Australian Government New Colombo Plan, which some of you might be familiar with. And then this one's a popular one. Guest speaking, we definitely get lots of requests for people to come on campus and speak to students, and you can absolutely do that through a range of ways. So I'm getting told to get off the stage, so if you want to get your phones out, this is the QR code. Keris and I are obviously outside, so please feel free to come and have a chat with us if we haven't spoken to you already. Thank you.
So I'm Dr. Alexander Ingle. I have a very long and fancy title. Basically, I look after prac in one of our health disciplines in the School of Health Sciences for the faculty. Something I just wanted to flag, and I'll give a bit of context before Taya talks about her placement experience, is within the health sciences, things are a bit more structured in how placements have to run for our governing bodies. So Taya's experience as an exercise physiologist, she needed to do 500 hours of placement, and that is all of our students. 140 hours of that is healthy populations, basically, so what we call exercise science. So typically they do that with sporting teams, which Taya will talk plenty about, schools, gyms, things like that, and then 360 hours of clinical. So that is working in hospitals, private practice, working with clinical populations and treating them, essentially. So I will hand over to Taya.
Cool. So I wanted just to talk quickly about my placement experience and the value that I found in it, not only during my degree, which I finished last year. I'm now in an undergraduate honours, which I'll chat about at the end. So I wanted to quickly talk about my 2 clinical placements that I did. These were at private practices, which is quite common to do within the degree. So despite the obvious knowledge that I gained from doing quite a few hours, as you just saw, at these placements, the main thing that I sort of grabbed from it was working within a multidisciplinary team. So as an exercise physiologist, being able to liaise with and communicate to physios and chiropractors was something super valuable to me, not only from gained knowledge, but also the confidence to be able to speak to different professions, especially when you're still quite young within your degree. Then my probably most favourite placement, and the one that I got the most experience, was an internship that I did with the Sydney Kings, which is a basketball club within Sydney. My placement turned into a 2-year internship, which was incredible for me. So the 2 main things that I got from this was my networking opportunities. It's when I got my LinkedIn for the first time, which was exciting and very nerve-wracking. I was forced to speak to and liaise with coaches and players, physios, doctors, and pretty much forced to reach out to people through LinkedIn, which helped my professional development immensely. And then also just my confidence that I gained from that 2 years, from going in as a shy female in quite a male-dominated industry to then being able to speak to players openly and do one-on-one coaching. My confidence went crazy for that one. that then led to a trip that I get to go with the Kings to America. So I guess the value for placements and internships, it allows students to do really exciting things like this that we maybe otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to do. And that then led to where I am now, which is completing an embedded honours of research with the Sydney Swans, which, if you don't know, is an AFL club here in Sydney. They won their first game last week, so that was awesome. But yeah, same things with the networking and a confidence booster. So without placement, I would not have these opportunities. So thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Victoria Miller, the Student Industry Engagement Manager within the Faculty of Engineering, and I'm really excited to tell you about all the incredible things we've got happening in engineering. Firstly, sustainable engagement with students. So we are really passionate in UNSW Engineering about redefining recruitment, building connections and creating a life cycle for students and industry. Sorry, I just got to. So why is this important for students? This provides equitable access for students to industry. It offers tailored support prior to university, instilling confidence that industry want to invest in their future. It equips students with professional skills beyond the classroom. And why is it important for you in industry here? It's engagement throughout the student life cycle, fostering lasting bonds. It builds long-lasting brand recognition, and it diversifies the talent pool you can access. So I'm going to talk about some key programs that we've got at UNSW. The first one is scholarships, and primarily the Women in Engineering Scholarship Program. This is an exceptional way for industry to engage with our students. The program was established in 2015 with partners such as Ausgrid, WSP and Dolby, to name a few, who've supported us through the years. Industry support of this program has been so transformative for the faculty and for the students who participate in the program. It's not about financial, it is about empowerment. You, as an industry partner, develop a relationship with students early in their career, leading to their future as an employee with you. The next one is our vertically integrated projects, or what we call our collaborative projects. At UNSW, we're proud to be the only university in Australia offering the vertically integrated projects program. This program offers a unique way to engage with students from all disciplines. And now we are building an industry-led component of this program where students engage with partners over multiple years, developing student skills that translate directly to your sector. Our industry PhD program is also a great way to engage with the academic stars of the future and access cutting-edge technology. This program provides you to connect with our brighter students and open up new research and development opportunities for your business. We are keen at engineering to talk about creative ways that we can build relationships with you through entrepreneurial mindset. And developing ideas in incubator, leadership programs, and ensure other graduates can be the innovators of tomorrow. Finally, the most simple and best way to engage with us as well is industrial training. All students within the Faculty of Engineering have to do industrial training. This is the most direct way to access our students. Finally, we'd love to chat to you about ways that you can engage with us. My job is to go out and meet as many people as possible. So take down our details. My incredible team is here today. And thank you for your time.
Okay, so that wraps up all our formalities for this morning. So firstly, a huge thank you to all our speakers for sharing and offering their insights. And also a special thank you to our students who came along today and gave you a unique perspective on their placement opportunities. So everyone here today, I hope you found something valuable to take away from the presentations, whether it's a new idea, a networking opportunity, or a program or course perhaps that you might want to sign up for and support. So once again, thank you all for being a part of this summit. Let's keep the momentum going as we continue to enhance the employability opportunities for our students. Thank you.